Awesome. We're live. Dr. Serrano here. Super excited. Last week we talked about how do you rebalance your immune system. I talked about having an overactive immune system, an underactive immune system, and what each of those causes and how to balance it. One of the 5 steps that I talked about last week was doing an elimination diet. What does that really mean? I'm going to go through who should do it, how do you do it, and why you should do this. But before I get into that, let me just kind of briefly tell you what elimination diet is, and pause for a second. If you have autoimmune issues and you don't understand the 5 steps, go back and watch the video from last week. That's the first step you have to do. Watch the video on how to rebalance your immune system, and that's what today is a continuation of that. So, elimination diet. Who should be doing an elimination diet? This is not a diet to lose weight. This is not a weight loss diet. This is strictly a temporary diet or plan to see what kind of offenders you are either allergic to or sensitive to, intolerance or sensitivity to. Let me start there. There is a difference between an allergic reaction to something and having a sensitivity or an intolerance to something. Those are 2 totally different things. So this elimination diet helps us try to figure those things out. You can do testing for this. You can do expensive testing to find out what you're allergic to, but you don't have to do that every time. This is one way of doing this at home or with one of your healthcare professionals to really figure out what it is that you might be intolerant, insensitive, or allergic to. What's the difference? When you have an allergic reaction to something, that's when you have your body and your cells make an immune-mediated response. This is the person, if you've watched the movie with Will Ferrell, right? When he has shellfish and he blows up it's funny in the movie, but that's a severe reaction. People can actually go into have their respiratory airways shut down on them. So that's a very severe allergic reaction. So that's an allergic reaction. A sensitivity or an intolerance, that's a different reaction. Your cells don't have that immune-mediated response. So when you have an intolerance or sensitivity, these could be just simple things like bloating, or when you eat something, it just doesn't sit right in your stomach, and it could be autoimmune issues, it could be skin issues or allergies on the skin or eczema, all of these different things. These are symptoms or signs that your body's saying, hey, you might have some type of sensitivity or intolerance to some foods. So those are the people that want to probably try something like this. If a doctor's ever told you, hey, you should try an elimination diet, or if you're Googling, you come up with elimination diet, this is how you do it. So you're going to eliminate the biggest offenders out there. The biggest offenders being gluten, I think we've all heard of that nowadays, corn, dairy, soy, eggs in some cases. If you've never done any kind of testing and you really want to find out if you're allergic, I would do the eggs, alcohol, peanuts, and any added sugars. I'm not saying that if something has a sugar in it, if you have an apple, that's fine. But anything where you add sugar to what you're eating, you want to eliminate those types of sugars. So these are the biggest offenders, and the way you do an elimination diet is exactly that. You just eliminate the top offenders, and you do this for a period, they say roughly around 3 weeks. 3 weeks is kind of the key point. Some people can get away with a little bit less. Some people it's going to take up to 4 weeks. That's when you have some of these insensitivities or intolerances. When you eat these things, your body makes antibodies against them, or your immune system ramps up against them. So it takes about 3 weeks on average for those internal response to go down or dissipate, or really kind of just be lessened or taken out of the body. So when you're doing the elimination diet, you have to give at least minimum, I would say 3 weeks minimum. And then what you do at the end of the 3 weeks, you literally have a journal or on your iPhone, pull up the notes in there. And what you do at this point is you take out and you start to introduce one thing at a time. So for example, if you took out eggs, you introduce eggs, and then you start journaling what you're feeling. Do you have more energy when you eat? Did you feel sluggish? And you would do that for a few days. After those first day or two, then you can start introducing the next thing. Let's say you want to introduce some healthy dairy into your plan. So you start getting some healthy dairy. And I say healthy dairy because if you go out and you get conventional dairy, that's never a healthy choice. So if you're going to introduce dairy, make sure it's organic at least. Best kind of dairy would be raw, straight from the farm, and you can have raw cheeses, raw. Oh. We're back. All right. So I was on dairy. Sorry, we lost connection there. But on the dairy, what I was saying on the dairy was that you just want to make sure it's good, healthy dairy. And then you, once again, you take a day or two and you write down how you felt, and you'll start seeing, a kind of a pattern. As you introduce things, you'll know pretty quickly, hey, is this affecting me? Am I feeling better or worse after eating certain foods? And that's how you'll be able to start really pinpointing what it is that you're intolerant or insensitive to, maybe even allergic to. So that's what an elimination diet is. This is not something you do forever, and it's not something that, let's say that you are insensitive or intolerant to one of these things. That also doesn't mean that you have to be off of that forever. What happens is, as you begin, if you go back to the last video, I talked about gut health. As you begin to heal the gut, as you begin to heal your body, in a lot of cases, you're able to introduce these at a later date, and your body really respond well to them. It just because you're responding not so well right now doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. So hope this helped with the elimination diet. It's not a diet to lose weight. It's not a diet that you do for a long periods of time, but it really is a diet or a plan to really hone in on what it is that might be affecting you. And you can really, and this is great for your kids too. I know it's a little difficult with kids with the different choices of food out there, but this is great if they're having some type of reactions or allergies. So for you guys, what I would love for you to do is go to drserrano.me. I have a 14-day video series on there that really helps you take concepts like this and really implement them into your life and make a lifestyle out of it, so that you, your family, your kids, you can live to the health that all of us were intended to live. So it's a free 14-day video series. Go to drserrano.me. You put in your email, and you get the video series completely free. And it's just great the response we've been getting from those videos. So I hope that as you watch them, you respond back. If you have any comments, any questions, leave that below, and I'll answer every comment and every question.